Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jessica Cortez, and I am thrilled to introduce you to a game-changing tool that can transform the way you win listings and grow your real estate business. And before we dive in, I want to introduce you to a very special guest who is here with us today, Elliot Tomaszewski. I should know this because my husband's Polish. Elliot Tomaszewski, and he's the co-founder of Zudilio, and he is here to share his invaluable insights of the platform that he co-founded and co-created. Zudilio is an ultimate lead generation cash offer website, for those of you who do not know, that empowers agents with the ability to compete with iBuyers for seller leads. And that is what we're doing today. I'm really excited to kick this off because I've personally been using this iBuyer platform in the last month to grow my real estate business, not just as a realtor, but as a referral business. So I've not only been reaching out to homeowners and doing my own prospecting with my cash buyer platform to open up conversations to see if they want to list their homes with me, but I've also been using the iBuyer platform to help other realtors who are in need and are needing buyers for their stale properties that are just sitting on the market. I've been working with them to help them find buyers as a referral based business. So there's many things you can do with this platform, and Elliot is going to kindly show us the ropes and how you can start using it in your business today even. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
So thanks so much. I appreciate the kind words and the intro there. So yeah, what Zudilio is ultimately a lead generation for seller leads. It gives you the ability to lead with cash offers and really ultimately create home selling conversations. So what we have done is we have created an instant platform that you can submit a property and it will decision that property and return the available cash offers in about 5 seconds. From there, those are actionable cash offers that you can present to your client. Now, of course, they need to go, the house has to be go under review, verifying condition, photos, and those types of things. But the instant offer is going to be an actionable offer and one that you'll be able to bring to your clients. So if you're working leads such as canceled, expired, FSBOs, doing some generalized, geographical farming, or even doing your network, it gives you the ability to start that home selling conversation with an instant actionable offer. We've also created something else that we call Blast, which is the ability for you to automate that marketing and do marketing for cash offers. So by bringing home values to your people, showing them trends and insights that are going on for their home, it allows them to see what cash buyers would pay for their home on an ongoing monthly basis. Now, on what this does for you is you want to get people on this, that the system automatically sends to them, and it will, based on their engagement, it will send more often or less often. It will capture that interest, their clicks, and all the things that are going on inside there, and then it scores that particular person and will return that back to you, letting you know who is ultimately going to be a likely home seller, or a soon-to-be seller. So let me jump in and share my screen and kind of show you all how this works. Now, as we go through this, you may have some questions. You may have some things that you want to, kind of bring up, or, maybe want me to touch on because there's a few things in here that, unless you've been a part of Zudilio or know how Zudilio works, or done a transaction with the platform in the past, that may be new to you. So some of the cash offer types and, those types of things, how they work. So feel free to throw those questions in the comments or raise your hand, and I'd be delighted to pull you on and ask your question live. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to get is a landing page that is branded to you. So as you will see, you'll have this where it says this Zudilio logo up here. That would actually be your logo. So whether you are on a, just a single agent, or you have a team, right? What some of our biggest users are power teams, power brokerages, connections to other technology companies that we are able to, they'll do the marketing and advertising, and then they'll driving some of that traffic to your landing page here. And you'll have the different options, right? Where you can do branding there at the bottom, all that's your headshot. Everything is geared around you and keeping this as you are the one that's bringing these exclusive cash offer options to your clients. So know this, when it says that it's, powered by Zoodealio, Zoodealio is the technology platform. We actually had this request from the overwhelming majority of our members because they wanted to let their consumers know that the cash offers, are coming from a large institution, that they're performable offers. So that's the first thing I want to share with you from the business side of things in the background, is that you're connected to about $10 billion of purchasing power. Now, those buyers are going to be hedge funds, REITs, private capital, and things of that nature. So that is ultimately the offers that are that is where the money is coming from on the offers that are being made for the property. All right, well, let's jump into the cool tech and so you can see how this works. So the last thing I want you to really kind of see here is what we are doing for that consumer. And the goal is ultimately to showcase the different offers that are going to be available for them. So they want to unlock and see their home's value, right? Then we want to showcase that they're going to get multiple cash offers and comparing to what you could sell that house for on the open market, which I'm going to showcase for you guys here in just a second. So it's the different offers, options, next to what you could list and sell that house for on the market. And you are the one that puts in what you could list and sell that house for on the open market. And then, of course, the last container I want you guys to take a peek at here is the ability for that long-term nurture. So the whole point of this is to capture that lead's interest wherever they're at. So if somebody's looking for a cash offer, a lot of times that's a very serious type lead. They're usually ready to make a decision between now and the next 6 months. Well, a lot of our data shows that people, still want to know that, but they'll start this process as much as 18 months in advance. Well, we want to start being able to offer and capture those people. And so that's exactly what Blast is technically designed to do, whether they're ready to sell their house tomorrow or in 5 years from now. We want to meet that consumer where they're at and give you the ability to lead generate and ultimately cultivate a relationship. Okay, so the first thing here, once a homeowner decides that they are going to enter in their address and request their address here, we'll just say that that's their particular address, it's going to first geolocate that property. Then from there, it's going to fill the known stats about their particular property, that the house was built in 2003, the size, etc. Now, any additional information that they maybe need to fill out, it's going to give them the option to be able to do that. Now, from there, it's going to request that they register. That way you can get the lead and be able to ultimately get their cash offers and options and do all the nurturing process that we've been discussing here. Now, this is a pioneering system that we have created that actually kind of goes into the valuation. So the real value, which has been created by Zoodealio, is ultimately the value of their property that the cash buyers, really it's the instant offer algorithm. And so it's going to be arranged because the system doesn't always know everything about their house. What that's looking at is the available data that it can pull from, let's just say, MLSs, tax records, things of that. Well, if their house is highly upgraded, they're going to need to upload photos so that we could see what that house looks like. So for example, here, if I upload my photos, I will have these different options here for us. So let's see if I just grab a couple of quick pictures to give you an example. Now the system is going to be able to upload them. They'll be able to label them. And then once you'll see here, the system is actually starting to score that particular property, and a lot of times being able to understand, review the property and score it accordingly. Okay, now we want to get here for this demo, so I'm going to just progress us. And then as you can see there, the system reviewed it and made decisions and offers on the property based on the comp range that it knows of the available data. Okay, so the scoring system, because the photos and high ranking came in and comped the property, right? And it ultimately gave a valuation and then showcased what the different options were for that particular property. Now, on this too, they have the ability to kind of come in, or you can show the property and then ultimately, kind of give a little bit more personality for your particular client, those types of things. So now everything that you're seeing here, do know that you have the ability to request the cash offer yourself as an agent, but then you also are going to have that landing page. You have multiple landing pages that you'll have access to generate leads. So you can request it as an agent. That, let's say you met somebody, out for coffee and they're like, yeah, hey, I'd like to know what my cash offer options are. You can come in here and generate this and then share the offers with them. Or of course, through this link, you, through the landing pages, you are able to generate the leads as well. And then additionally, you are going to have a back office that we're going to go into in just a moment, so you guys can see everything that you have access to. Now, there is a couple of different cash offer options that I want to kind of just do a quick preview for you on what they are and how they work. So the first one is going to be this, what we call the cash plus. Now, when we open this up, you have the different, the offer explainers and ultimately how they break down and how the buyers are technically able to make genuine full market value offers. So let's go over that real quick. So the initial offer is going to be made on the property. And then there's also going to be a security instrument on this property known as what we call the reserve, which is a portion of that homeowner's equity that's held back to ensure that when you list and resell the house, it's going to sell for that amount or higher. Now, it is a reserve and a hedge. So in the event that the offer was to sell for slightly less, that amount would be deducted and then they would get back the balance on that. So now, like I said, it's there as a security instrument. But here's the really cool part for you guys to know is, let's just say in this situation that this is a extra hot property, and we're going to get into some improvements here in just a moment that I'm going to share on. But the final sales price ends up being 1.1 for this particular property. Well, not only would they get back this $182,000 that's being held back as the security instrument, they would get back the additional reserves. So that's where this is ultimately the buyer is, their goal is to make a full market value offer and have it be as competitive as possible, because that security instrument that ranges anywhere in most cases from 12 to 20%, depending on the risk, the price, and those types of things, that is just a security instrument that is held until the property is resold. So now the one thing I want to talk real quick about here for you guys that is really the driving factor of this offer is the ability to actually improve the property. So there are multiple cases, as you'll see here in these examples, that we have make a lot of improvements in properties. And what this does is it ultimately makes it, it's like the ideal listing for you as the agent, because the house is turnkey ready. It's been, newly rehabbed, smells great, looks great. It's a great way to meet the neighbors, et cetera. So now you're using this house, doing a pardon our dust open house, meeting other neighbors, and then showing them how you increased that homeowner's equity and technically made them more money and got all of them that extra cash, and they didn't have to swing a hammer and they didn't have to pull any of those dollars out of their pocket. So let's talk about that real quick. So in the event, we'll just use simple round numbers here because it a lot of times works the best. If a house was purchased for $100,000 and there was $10,000 of rehab that was going to go into the property, well, of course, that amount comes from the profit of the property. So if that $10,000 caused that $100,000 house to sell for $125,000, that $10,000 gets deducted from the profits, and then your client would get the additional $15,000. So whatever cost goes into the property gets deducted from any proceeds, things of that nature. And a lot of times it's actually either added on or will come from the reserve in the initial offer. I'm just giving you guys a very kind of brief overview on how they work, right? Okay. So know that on the cash plus, it doesn't always have to have the home doesn't have to have required rehab. Only about about 75% of the houses that use the cash plus offer do have some type of rehab done, and it could be as simple as cleaning, backyard landscape, etc. As long as that homeowner has a desire to sell their house fast, access the majority of their equity, right away, has enough equity for the security instrument, and gets the cash that they need upfront to be able to move and do whatever it is that they need to do and access that cash quickly, then this is for them. Because what this does is ensures that they, bandit cash buyers, wholesaler cash buyers, or let's say other iBuyers that are going to sell that house and then take all of that additional profit. Well, this eliminates that, right? So they're going to get a very competitive initial offer, and how that buyer is able to do that is that reserve, and then that reserve gets returned to them and any additional proceeds. So for us as agents, this is an offer that we can bring to our clients and be very proud to ensure that somebody's not going to take advantage of them and give them a low ball cash offer because they want to move quickly or don't put their house on the market. Okay, next option to talk about real quick here is the sell now, move later. It actually works very similar to what we just talked about, where an offer is going to be made. A portion of their equity is going to be held back until they list and resell that property. The biggest difference on this one is they are able to lease back the property on a month-to-month basis for up to 1 year. Okay. The fix it and list it is technically just that. It's the option for them to rehab their house, then list it. The biggest difference between the fix it and list it versus the cash plus is they still own this house. The cash buyer comes in, cashes them out in this one. They don't, getting their equity. In this situation, they do not get any equity, and a lot of times they'll have to live through the remodel, etc. So being very upfront in most cases, the cash plus makes a lot more sense for most people. So we, without a doubt, do probably 10 cash pluses to every one fix it then list it. And then the become a cash buyer is an option for you to be able to turn your buyer's offer to cash, helping them compete, getting a great deal on the buy side. So it's getting kind of a look through all of that. And then finally this is where a lot of the hedge funds and REITs right now kind of live, is the cash offer that they're making on properties. And as you'll see, the offers are a little conservative right now due to our current economic times. 3 years ago, the offers were extremely aggressive. So this kind of has to do with their algorithms of what they're seeing on the market and what they're willing to pay for a property, and they're more of a pause phase right now. Okay, so let's jump over. Hey Jessica, you're seeing the dash, the back end, right?
Sorry about that. I'm on mute. Yes, we can see you, the dashboard.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you're seeing the agent dashboard though, right?
I see admin.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah, with the circle. Okay, perfect. We are on the screen I wanted you to see. So what we're looking at here is this is the agent's back office. This is where you're able to request a cash offer, from this end. You can share the link with your client. You have access to how you're going to get the cash offers, working those leads, the different cash offer options. This is where you would enter in your list price, what you could list and sell the house for. Then, you share that to the client. It appears on the dashboard. The notifications, which is what we were talking about before, where all those metrics from Blast happen. Know that we fully integrate with your CRM, text messaging, all of those types of things. However you want to get those notifications through Zapier, you can connect that to really anything that you want. Okay, let's take a quick look here at Blast, because this is kind of a really important one. Let's see. get us one. Okay, so what this is this is that monthly report that goes on the property, that's going to really kind of draw your client in, right? Where they're going to be able to see what that home report is, the different, options that they're going to have that are, ultimately available to them. Now, by me clicking on this and engaging with this, we're capturing all of that insight from that particular homeowner, right? Where they're getting that home report, they're able to, kind of adjust their value, lock in the value, see the different options that their home qualifies for, learn more about the different options, all of these explainers. And the beautiful thing that we're doing here is a lot of this is we've created as, very, kind of clicky for the consumer. We want them to click and learn more. Well, what this does inside of our system is we're capturing those clicks, then reporting them back to you. And the more clicks we capture, the more of an engaged lead they are. And then that triggers you that you need to call that lead or that prospect and be able to talk to them about that cash offer option. So you're able to have conversations very similar to, as an example, hey, Jessica, it's Elliot over at ABC Realty. I see that you've been checking out our Cash Plus home selling program. It's a whole new way to sell your house for cash that ensures that you're going to get top dollar. But I was curious while I got you, are you wanting to know how that works? Or are you actually thinking about getting a cash offer at some point in time on your house this year? Right. So you're able to have very simple, easy conversations like that. And it's not calling them and saying, hey, I see that your, house just, just canceled on the MLS. And I was wondering when you plan on hiring the right agent for the job of selling your home. Right. It's a very, very different sequence where, don't get me wrong, we have agents, and myself, I recommend agents all the time and teach you guys how to use this for cancels and expireds. Right. And you're able to just have a much more direct conversation. Hey, I see that the house left the market unsold. And if I brought a cash offer that made sense and you got to pick your close date, is that something you and your family would consider? Right. So it's just, it's a whole different initiative where you're able to build value, build rapport, and use the cash offers to do that so that you're really, gaining, you're beating out your competition by bringing items of value. And now this is the difference in the offer dashboard and this one where it's these are delivered slightly different. And like I said, this is in Blast where this is much more discovery versus where the cash offer dashboard that we were at before is, people that are really looking to take more action now versus discovery. And so that's where these different calls to actions and designs kind of come from. And then, of course, you have success stories around these pieces. And then the other thing I'll show you, of course, is this is all branded around you. And so that's the beauty of really what we have created here. Okay. Get this back in. Okay. Now, one of the biggest things that our members absolutely love in this is we have an extremely robust marketing library. We give you access to social media assets, to a bunch of different things to where you're able to market and really kind of just ultimately draw new business. So you have the ability from once you've captured that lead to be able to put them on here and convert. Well, we also give you the assets from a social media or marketing ways to be able to draw them in and get those cash offers going. So what this really is designed to do is be an extension, within your business that's constantly generating opportunities for you. And if you're looking for a basis and, new ways to market and get seller leads, especially with, the recent NAR settlement where buyer compensation is basically going to be removed from the MLS, this is the perfect, conduit to bring to your business so that you're ultimately building and putting yourself in more home selling conversations. So now on this last things I'll touch on is we are a ton of training They go on every single week where we are going to teach you how to do strategies. They're all recorded via webinar Zooms that you would tap into. The other thing I will share with you is we have multiple onboardings that go every single week. There's live trainings on what the offers are, how they work, as Jessica will tell you. We have a rather robust team that in the event that you and your client want to talk about their offers specifically for them, you can absolutely jump on with the team and they'll go through the offer option, what it is, how it works, so that you can intelligently talk to them about it and they can learn more about it and see if it's something that makes sense for them. Okay, so I want to, like I said, that's a good overview for us to be able to start on and see how all of this works and how this could fit inside your business. But I'm curious what kind of questions or anything that we might have.
My question to you would be, when is the best time to open up about the cash offer?
A lot of times what I do to get people talking and, kind of get the ball rolling, of course you'll meet them, do your intro, but then from there, I'm going to ask them to give me a tour of the property and point out the features of the things that they liked and why they chose to buy the house. What they feel like is different about their house and what improvements have they made to the house as we walk through it, right? And I want to say, hey, let me know if you've upgraded the water heater, the AC. Did you remove a wall? Did you, is this a different paint color? I'm going to know my stats before and say, hey, I see that you've lived here the last 5 years. Over that course of time, what improvements have you made? What have you done to change the house? What other issues have you possibly tackled on there? Right. So it's those types of things that you really want to get them going. Yeah. What improvements would you make to the property? Hey, what changes would you make to the property to make it more appealing? Right. So always get their insight, those types of things. It's that good old, kind of 101 where everybody wants to talk about themselves and, those kinds of things. So that's really that, I would say, that goal. Then from there, I am going to ask them and be like, hey, so out of curiosity, why is it that you're looking for a cash offer? Is it not putting the house on the market? Is it speed? Is it accessing your cash quickly? What is it that makes the most sense for you to get a cash offer? Right? Because then from there, I'm going to say, all right, well, while we're on the topic, what's the most important for you? Getting the most money instantly, getting the most money up front, or, kind of talk to me a little bit about that situation. Then from there, what I'm ultimately doing right now is I'm reverse engineering every single step of it, because what I want to do is let's say that let's play. Obviously, if the cash offer works and the initial payout works in a cash plus situation, and it's a very clear cut scenario where we put $50,000 in the house and it's going to sell for 100, 200K more, it's a no brainer, situation. Or, like I said, whatever those kind of moving pieces are, you as the pro have to be able to see through the property on that. But what I'm ultimately doing, what I want everybody to hear me get to on this point, is I want to try to uncover the number that makes sense that they need to ultimately put in your pocket, right? So, because what that does is it gives me the perfect pivot in the event that the cash offer doesn't make sense. So let's say that we're $50,000 apart, right? And I'll say, hey, let me go back to these cash buyers. I'm going to show them the condition of your property. Your house is fantastic. I don't see it presenting a lot of risk on the marketplace. Let me see if I could get that reserve from 15% down to 12%, because I really think that when we list and resell this house, it's going to probably sell in less than 2 weeks. I'm going to share that data with them. I'm going to go to bat for you and see what I can do for you. Sound fair enough? Great. Hey, give me about 24 hours and I'll be able to get back to you. Then come bring that stuff to Zoodealio. Let's see if we can hit those numbers for you. Well, let's say in the event that we can only adjust it, by 1 or 2%, and we're still $25,000 apart, right? You go back to them and you say, hey, I was able to get them to come up on their offer. However, here's what that new offer is. And they say, well, unfortunately, that's not going to work for us. We're just 25 grand short and we need that money for us to be able for this move to make sense for us. Well, simultaneously during that time, I'm going to have prepared and taken a look at market data, right? And if that market data is showing that I'm going to sell in the last, whatever the speculated time frame is, let's say it was 30 days, 45 days, and whatever the market is, kind of showing that that price is particularly going to be, which is usually going to be pretty parallel to the cash plus offer amount. But obviously they're not going to have that reserve that's held back, right up front. So the offer may make more sense going on the market. So I'm literally going to, this is my pivot. I'm going to say, hey, well, Jessica, if I could show you a way that I could get you that extra $25,000 and I could do it for you in, 3 to 4 Saturdays, is that something that would be more up your alley for you and the family? Of course, they're in nine times out of 10, they're going to say yes. All right, awesome. Well, let me show you how we're going to be able to do that and put the house on the market and what that's going to look like. Right. Then from there, I'm going to shift and I'm going to show them that marketing strategy, without going off on a massive tangent here, the different, listing presentations, super open house strategies, advertising, circle prospecting, all those types of strategies that I'm a big fan of personally, that would really help you get this listing. But what I want everybody to see here is that why so many top producers do work with Zoodealio is if the cash offer works, great. But in the event that it doesn't, go ahead and pivot to that listing. And do know this, right? I want we're not bashful about this in any way, shape, or form. The cash offers that are made on side of the platform, only about 5% of them go on to get accepted. Where, here's the data point that I want everybody to know though, because this is the overwhelmingly amazing part. The data also shows that about almost half of them go on to list or accept a cash offer within a 6 to 18 month window. So when you're talking about the curation and quality of lead, that's why you saw Zillow, shift and come after this, and then created a partnership with Opendoor and all of these strategies that continue to be harnessed around it. And the tech markets are trying to figure this out, because they don't have the expertise as us as realtors to move a property. But at the end of the day, they see the need in the marketplace that the consumer is looking for. So that's where you guys are able to partner ultimately with Zoodealio and bring these options, and you are at the center of all of it. Now, the one thing I do want everybody in here to know is you're always compensated as an agent. Matter of fact, at the Cash Plus, you actually make 4%. And with all the compensations that are, issues that are going on in our industry, it's part of our offer structure. You get paid 2% upfront instantly on the cash sale. And then you also get paid 2% when you resell the property on behalf of the cash buyer. And it's also your listing. So even though we come in with as the cash buyer buy the property, part of our agreement says that we are going to hire you to list and resell that property for us. And of course, the homeowners a lot of times love that because you're the local expert. You're the one that's going to ensure that reserve that's there, you're going to get as much of that back for them as possible, or possibly even increasing the equity. And do know, guys, that we have plenty of home run stories where we have increased equity, in massive amounts, right? Like one of, I think our greatest, it's California, of course, but one of our greatest home run stories is we purchased a house for 1.3. I believe we put approximately $150,000 of cleanup into it, and it sold for 1.95, right? So that's that homeowner situation. Of course, they were a massive raving fan. We made them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So tremendous opportunity, and if anything, one heck of, it's a great opportunity to get consistent leads as you have been experiencing, Jessica.
So Elliot, we have some questions now in the chat. Are you okay with answering them?
I sure am.
What are the fees for the client, and how do we incorporate the seller's brokerage fee?
So the seller's brokerage fee is actually, we just answered. There's actually a resale fee that's a part of the offer structure of 7.5%, with 6.5% of that going to agent commissions. Giving you a quick overview on how that breaks down again, you get paid 2% upfront, instantly 2% on the resale, and then also offer a co-broke of 2.5%. And then that additional 1% is for the resale closing costs when the property is resold. How the buyer makes money on this and why they do this is the fee ranges anywhere from it can really range anywhere from 4 to 7%, depending on the risk of the property, the cost of the property, different variables. Now, the one thing that makes us super unique in that that cost actually covers holding costs, taxes, HOA, insurance, management, maintenance, all of the things that go on with typical home ownership. Is a part of that. Now, know that if there's a rehab that goes on in the property, right, the buyer technically will, either take it from their equity or front the money, but that money gets deducted from any upside proceeds, right? So that's separate from holding costs, just for clarity.
Okay, so the next question is, how does this apply to FSBOs? Will I need to get permission from the seller first before getting a cash offer?
Absolutely not. That's another really cool thing about Zudilio is you can generate, you just submit the address in the property, or excuse me, submit the address of the property, and the cash offers are returned to you. So in the event that you're working FSBOs, you can 100% submit the property, and if the cash offer is higher than what they're selling the offer for, or the property for, you definitely want to go have a conversation with them. Now, it doesn't mean that the structure is necessarily going to work for them, but again, this is a great way to start that conversation.
It's a lead magnet, it's a, so what I've been doing is for when I'm reaching out to homeowners directly, I plug in their address. If they say yes, how much is your offer or something like that, and I'm like, okay, so I plug in their address and I get like the preliminary offer. And this is what I've been telling homeowners. I've been saying, so without seeing your home, I can give you a preliminary offer, and it is this. It could be more or less depending on which of our unique buying options you choose from. So that's been kind of like my little script, and that's what I've been like, because I don't want to like promise them something and I don't want them to get their hopes up, because I was concerned like, oh, what if this offer isn't enough for them and then they're going to just shoot me down. I was like, well, what can I say that will leave it open to increasing or decreasing without setting like expectations up front? So that's been working for me, because they're like, oh, okay, some people really like that. They're like, okay, yeah, let's talk. So yeah, that's a really good way to say it.
Yeah, I love it. That's fantastic. So absolutely. So what I want you all to think about is FSBOs, yes, but also canceled and expireds. And so let me give you another quick pro tip. One of the ones that actually, so again, being a co-founder, kind of molded these ideas, went and, lined up the strategy, obviously built the tech, built the big capital that's behind it, which was, a lot of years in the making to be able to do that. But one of the number one strategies that we started to just see the writing on the wall with in building this was actually old cancels. So what we would do is people that their house canceled a year ago, 6 months ago, 18 months ago, and they still own their house today, we would literally call them up and I'd say, hey, Jessica, I see your house left the market unsold back in December of 2021. And I was curious, if I brought you a cash offer that was at or above what your house was on the market before, is that something that you'd be interested in taking a look at? Yes, no,
Yeah,
maybe so.
good. I was actually thinking about, I saw canceled, I was doing comps for a property, because before I call them, I actually do comps on the property as well. So I can have that information in front of me, because I don't want to be like thrown off, because some of these people really know their stuff. I was like, I like talked to like 2 homeowners who knew exactly like where they were at. I was like, wow, I thought they were like joking. One guy was like 500K. That's what I want. And I was like, let me see if that's real. And so I went in there and his property really was worth that much. I was like, wow, these people are on point. So it's really important, I thought, to kind of go in the market and see what everything else is being sold for. So you can compare that to like the cash offer,
Yep, absolutely.
The next question is, are there any email drip campaigns?
So I love that you have brought this up. So one of the biggest things that Jessica is solving in her piece of things is we actually create, so Blast, the long and the short is yes, is the straight answer. And there's multiple of them and lots of ways to do it. She has basically a template to where you upload your database, you press go, and it does everything for you. It can't get any easier. It's linked to your Zudilio account. Everything.
Can I show them really quickly? Can I show them?
Of course.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. We have launch campaigns built out for your seller campaign. So you can reignite your database. So for those of you who are like me and sold houses like 7 years ago, I've got like a database of people I can like reach out to, because 7, 8 years ago, I helped a dozen or so people like purchase a home, and I'm kind of eager to put this campaign in front of them. Also postcards, I'm doing that as well. So like um, I was working with some wholesalers not too long ago and helping them find fix and flip properties. And I did some comps and found a little pocket area that were doing a lot of fix and flips. And so I skip traced their addresses. And then I'm also going to send them postcards that will have like a little barcode on the postcard that will send them to my cash offer website. It'll, I thought I had that right here, my cash offer website. But it's really cool. So inside of Boss Up Desk, you already have like all your pre-built campaigns that they last like a year or so, right? So
Right.
yeah.
So on that too, you were in your back office. You just have to log out to go to your landing page if you wanted to show them your landing page. So if
Oh,
you
okay.
log out in the bottom left, but
So
I'm on this, yeah, it's just that landing page. Yep.
okay, let's see, log out.
If you want to show them the
Yeah.
landing page and then in the back end, you have to be in an incognito window. Otherwise it'll
Oh
log.
yeah, I did notice that. So that's my landing page. I want to be known as the cash offer realtor. And I've even been using that as a hook whenever I call somebody. So like I tell them I told this one homeowner, I said, look, I said just for how did I say it? I said, oh, I said for transparency, I'm letting you know I am a cash offer realtor. I am not a wholesaler. And they're like, cash offer realtor, what's that? And so it's like a nice little hook. I love it. I just
Yeah.
love my little new title. I can remember when I was selling houses, I was calling myself the down payment assistance specialist. And then now I'm a cash offer realtor. And so it's really fun. I've never had so many conversations about people selling their home before, because I've predominantly only ever worked with home buyers and like generating home buyer leads, and that's kind of like my specialty. And with all the changes in the market, I had to like find something
You
that
got to.
I
That's
just I
got
had
it
to
out.
I had to pivot. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do just as a realtor to keep my license, but also to help, all the other realtors underneath me who have been normally just, generating buyer leads. And I was like, wow, we got to find a solution like quickly. And I'm not surprised, honestly, that this is working so well. But I am pleasantly happy that it's been opening up a lot of conversations so far.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, I don't know if you know, but your camera is off, just so you
Oh,
know.
is it really? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. So
Uh,
next question is, what does the repair quote? Who does the repair quote?
so that's actually done by the underwriting team of Zudilio. So Zudilio, this is a totally hands-on, hands-off process. We will connect and work with you. You are our local expert, meaning that like, hey, if there's something there that our team wants to talk to, connect with you about, or you have a fantastic painter, your husband is a contractor and you want to get him in the mix. We are absolutely still growing our network. That's actually been an amazing part of our growth as we've expanded. And I mean, we, obviously there's, a crazy amount of projects going on around the country all of the time. So in the event that you want to bring somebody into the fold, please feel free and know that the our underwriting team and analysis, like, so essentially we have a property analysis team and, property project managers that will oversee this and connect and work with you. So they're the ones that do the quotes, and all of that is done during the upfront time of inspection. So I'm glad that you do bring that up. Know that, of course, the way that this works is once the offer gets accepted, and an agreement, cash offer, what we call the cash plus addendum, or the cash offer agreement, outlines that it is accompanied with your state contract. So all of that is together. Then of course, escrow is opened, the earnest deposits are made, we go underneath typical, process as far as that goes. Usually our inspection is a 15-day period. And we'll go in and do a home inspection. And during that home inspection, when we get those back, that's when the renovation team will look at that during the time and recommend those renovations. And your client has the right to say, yes, we want to make those, or no, I don't want to make those because I want, I don't want to invest that $10,000 in my house right now. I want that cash now, right? So you'll be able to intelligently look at the different options that are available for your client. The whole goal of the team there, and I'm sure Jessica will tell you, is to be deal makers, not deal breakers. That's the firm
Oh
instruction.
yeah, you guys have been amazing. Seriously, like they really are rooting for the homeowner. Okay, so yeah, your team, oh my God, so amazing. Like I've had to send back a lot of properties because I've had homeowners saying, well, this, well, that, or, can you do this? And then I've also been helping realtors with their stell listings too. And they're like, hey, can you send them, the comps that I've pulled? And then they're like so welcoming about like taking a look at the comps that the realtors are pulling and comparing them with the comps that your team, is pulling and everything like that. Like it's been really cool to see everyone working together to make this one thing happen, and that's getting this house sold. So I can't say enough really great things about the offers team. So fast responding, I just love them. I can't say enough good things about them. Like I'm really impressed with them.
Okay, so I think it looks like Hillary's got a question.
Mhm.
Let's see. I have a couple of listings that are not selling, just sitting. This would be good for those, but they need every penny. Every penny they can get from the home sale to be able to buy in this high price market. Yes, I understand your cash offer will not be market value, but can you speak on this issue for us? Absolutely, Hillary. So first of all, the offers actually are designed to be full market value, so much so that if it sells for more, they get the difference. Now, does that mean that they're going to get every dollar and every penny upfront instantly? In most cases, no. Let's say that it's an offer where one of the hedge funds are buying in and the offer is very aggressive. Again, that's not very often right now. That could work and it could fit in that scenario. But what I would highly recommend that you do in this situation is be able to submit the property. We buy houses that are on the market from agents like this scenario all of the time. So what you need to do is literally share with your client, hey, I have a cash buyer that will get you your equity upfront. So it allows them to get the equity that they need to make the move, right? To get to ultimately put the down payment, knowing that other cash is going to come after the house gets successfully sold. More times than not, we all know as realtors that there's a ton of houses out there that are great homes, and they just don't show that well because of their stuff or the way that they cook has a certain odor, etc. Right? There's all kinds of challenges that we have, and if we could just clear the property, it's going to sell for more and a heck of a lot faster. Well, we'll obviously go a heck of a lot further. If it needs new paint, new flooring, new things being done, Hillary, this is an opportunity for you to solve that problem and ultimately put more equity into your client's pocket. So what I would highly recommend that you do in those situations, and maybe even do it as a test with Jessica, is send her those addresses. She can submit them for you and have a review done on them. Because of course we'll see that they're on the market, and look at the days on the market, and ultimately address it, and kind of start working with you to potentially solve that problem and see if the offers can make sense for your clients. A lot of different scenarios, and that's where we have to realize that everybody's property and needs and why is dynamic. So that's where we have to put that human element to this. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, automation and technology is wonderful, but this is where us as agents have to have fiduciary for our clients, and our expertise still comes in. We look at the problem. All right, here's the solutions that we have, what works best, and then we present those to their clients and let them make that final decision.
Hey, I have one more question, Elliot, real
Yep.
quick
Go ahead.
before I lose my thought. But on some of the properties, I'm noticing the homeowners who have very little equity, the cash plus offer doesn't necessarily work for them, right? Because they
In
don't have
most
a lot
cases,
of reserve. Is that correct?
correct. A lot of times it can't work. Like, let's say that they only have 5 or 10% equity. Most of the time, that's not going to work because they need to have enough money for the reserve, um, to be able to, I guess essentially bankroll that reserve would be a way to put it, right? So again, simple math. If somebody has a house is worth $100,000, they owe 95,000. That's not going to work, especially even if the reserve is 10%, they'd be $5,000 in the delta in that situation. So most of the time, people need to have 25 to 30% equity for this to work, I would say on average, which again, that's what this was, when we've gone through the recent equity boom that we've had since really 2019, most houses, I would say 85+% qualify.
But on a marketing standpoint, though, like obviously listings, they just kind of naturally fall into your lap, right? However you get them.
Absolutely.
But as from a marketing standpoint, if you were truly to create a marketing plan and say, you know what, I'm going to look for homeowners who have this amount of equity in their home at least. You can actually do that, so anybody who has 20, 30, 40, 50% equity, you can pull those lists and market to those people so that you can ensure that you will actually have like a client that would be suitable, for a cash plus offer. And then on the flip side of that, to go even a step further is to make sure whenever you are planning your marketing campaign to make sure that the areas that you're farming actually have movement. So I've noticed that too, because the cash plus is basically like a fix and flip program, and although it's not always meant for fix and flips, you can use it for people who want to buy a house without a contingency, and there's other scenarios. But the most fun is if you can find a fix and flip, because you get to make more money if the homeowner makes more money. So looking for pockets in your market that have a lot of fix and flip activity. So that's what I've been kind of having fun looking for, is just a lot of like sold properties that have been remodeled. You can tell a fix and flipper has come in there, and then just looking for properties around that area to market this to, because that they can more likely qualify, and then you'll make money when they make more money on the flip side of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity. You're solving a massive problem in the marketplace. So kind of giving you guys the framework, I think, of pulling all this together when you're learning about something new. You have the cash offer options, which is that unique value proposition that the public is looking for. Well, then you need to communicate these value propositions at scale. That's where Boss Up Desk and Zudilio join forces. That launch campaign that we created at Zudilio that we plugged into Boss Up Desk gives you that automation where you then just upload your database, that list, like Jessica was just talking about. You run a list of people that have 30% more equity. They've owned their house for 5 years. They, there's all kinds of different likely seller data points, right? They're 60 years or older. The house is, 3,000 square feet, 2 stories, and they've owned it for 10 years, right? A lot of times that's going to be a move down, right? So there's a lot of different trigger points of people that are likely movers from the data that we could pull a list that we want to market to. Then once I acquire their data, I market to them, and I'm actually watching who is opening my emails, who's clicking on them and engaging. Because once that happens, that tells me that they're more likely to sell. And that's where I want to call them and have that conversation with them. And that's ultimately what Blast does. And so what we really do is the launch campaign kind of starts and initiates the conversation. Then a lot of times what I would personally recommend you do is once they are opening that, I'm going to call them up and say, hey, I see that you've been checking out our cash offer options. I want to give you a tool that shows you some, not only what cash buyers will pay for your home, but also some trends and insights and other ways that you could learn a little bit more about these offers and how they work for you, right? I'm going to go ahead and shoot you an email and invite you to it, right? And then now all of a sudden that monthly email starts getting sent to them, which is that active report that's capturing all of those behaviors in a different way. So again, it's just a really awesome way for you to graduate, nurture your clients. And ultimately, here's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand that what we're after. By giving them access to these offers and options, you are inspiring transactions to happen faster. So what we see is a lot of times people that may have been 2 years out, they now all of a sudden start the conversation 1 year, or they make a decision and move because of these offers and options. You inspire the thought, you inspire the transaction to happen, and you are manufacturing deals for yourself from your database, which is absolute gold. All right, Willette, how long on average? How long is the rehab time on average? That is a really tough one for me to answer, just because no rehab is created equal. If it's a deeper remodel, they can be as long as 45, even 60 days. Our goal is to have them cleaned, rehab, and back on the market within 3 weeks. But again, usually in that situation, it's just kind of more of a lipstick where it's going to get paint, carpet, basic landscaping, and a deeper clean. If it's something that we're remodeling a kitchen, remodeling a bathroom, I mean, we've done everything from refinish pools, refinish roofs, right? Those are sometimes that it can be a 45 or 60 day, even 75-day rehab. So it just depends on the extent of the project. Now on that though, Willette, just to answer your question fully, you can absolutely get an estimate on the time of work when you're doing the inspection. That way people know how long, the reserve ultimately, right? Because if we have 75 days of rehab time and then potentially 60 days of marketing selling time, well, they need to be prepared for that. So very insightful for you to see that. And our team will help you communicate that. That way you can communicate intelligently to your client. All right, and then Hillary, yes, thank you. No problem on sharing those insights on how to get those listings, ultimately sold. Let me give you guys one other pro tip that's actually going on site-wide, or well, for us site-wide, member-wide. Like I said, we have the pleasure of literally working with thousands of real estate agents across America at this point. And one of the coolest things I've seen is the innovation of agents. And so a lot of our top users, they call this the tired listing strategy. They will literally have agents on their team or, whomever, ISAs, VAs, comb through the MLS and find houses that have been on the market for 60 days or longer and bring this cash offer to them. Now, the way that works is they'll a lot of times say, hey, here's the cash offer. There's a co-broke offer that's in the MLS. I may forego it because they're going to get paid the 2%, right? That's where it just becomes about manufacturing the numbers and being able to present this offer to the listing agent and get them to be open. Of course, not every listing agent or seller is open to it, but we have done a heck of a lot of deals. And I would say it's actually about 10% of the deals that we see agents like that work actually end up going through. It's because you're bringing a cash offer option to them that really solves a lot of problems. And the agents that are more successful about it are the ones that are to kindly point out to the listing agent, hey, this house is a good home. Comps show, better than what it currently is performing at. A lot of this is because of how the house is being presented in the marketplace. And I have a cash buyer that'll come in and solve all of those problems for you, making sure that you get paid, getting your client their cash now, and ultimately getting them onto their next destination. So then it really just becomes a math problem and no longer a word problem. And you become their white knight.
Thank you so much for that. I'm so happy that you broke that down for us. I could not have done that better. So, thank you so much. You clearly see I'm excited about it. I love it because there's just so many ways to make income, like as a listing agent, as a referral partner, so many ways. And I have a crazy toddler who's just loud all the time. I don't really have a whole lot of on the phone prospecting time, so
Uh-huh.
I'm all, but I'm still wanting to like, generate leads, and I'm still wanting to like refer business out so I can still consistently, bring in another income stream,
Of
so
course.
I really love the
Still
opportunity.
got to do deals, right?
Yeah, I really
You
do.
got to
I
feed that
just
toddler.
Oh my God, he is crazy. But I love the referral piece. Like, so here's my thing that I'm doing. So I've actually been reaching out to homeowners because being in the trenches, it inspires me to craft the strategies for marketing. So that's why I jumped back in and started jumping on the phones to speak with homeowners so I can understand the concept, the platform, the objections, like everything that comes with it, so that I can craft the marketing piece around all of it so I can understand, okay, so what are our hurdles, how do we get past this, what scripts can we use, what can we do to do that. And what I love about this is that even if I bring in a homeowner, which is my my specialty, I love generating leads. So I'm like, how do I find this lead? How do I get in front of this person? And how do I capture them as a client? I'm really good at that, but I'm not so much really a listing agent. And I have top realtor friends in my area that are. And so I'll bring in the homeowner, I'll get them converted, even get the appointment for my realtor friend, and I will set the appointment for her. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is you ladies is because a lot of realtors right now are hurting. They haven't had very many closings and everything like that. So they may not have money to list a property. There are some expenses that comes with listing a property, but you can still find the business. You can still bring it in just like you can with the boss spot. That's what I do with my buyer leads. I bring the lead in, I get them pre-approved, and then I get them sent to a top producer. So the same thing with this platform. You can prospect, find the business, capture the business, set the appointment for your top producing listing agent who's really great at closing, and you can get a referral fee for that. So you get the 2% for bringing in the deal, and then you get a referral fee on the back end. So you don't have to think of it just one way, is what I'm saying. So maybe if you don't have a huge database, maybe you don't have a whole lot of money to take on a listing right now, but you can still be a referral partner. You can still get on the phone, you can still prospect and bring in business, and then pass that business on to people who are actually capable of doing it, like I do, because I can't just leave, anytime I want, because I have a toddler, and things like that. So I want to encourage you to think outside the box when it comes to using this platform, not just as a listing agent, but also as a referral agent as well. So hopefully that inspires you, to utilize the platform as many ways as you can. So, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it, boss ladies. So we're packaging Zudilio with Boss Up Desk. So Boss Up Desk will have an iBuyer Pro plan that I will email out to our current and past subscribers so that you can get signed up. But for a limited time, we are waiving any fees that are associated with getting set up. You're going to have email drips and launch campaigns with videos, everything you could possibly need to market your current database or any database that you actually put into the system. You wanted to say something?
No, I said you'll crush it. To me,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
here's a stat that I want you guys to know on the launch campaign, just because again, it has a ton to do with what we built. So FYI, we are probably about 60 to 90 days away from releasing essentially Zudilio 2.0, and it has a ton to do with the marketing engine and Blast and the metrics and everything else. So here's what I want you to know. In the launch campaign, on average, every 1,000 people that you put in it with that, the value proposition, it does so well that anywhere from, depending on your database and where they're at, et cetera, but it's about 6 to 9 leads will trigger every single month as interest, right? And so how we're capturing that interest is extended watch times, extended clicks, things like that, all things that your boss bot will capture. And we're not just talking about opens, we're talking about actual clicks so that people are watching and engaging with what you're sending them. And then that's where you want to go have that conversation with them. So I want you guys to think about that. Every 1,000 people that you put in every single month, you're going to get 6 to 12 technical, leads, right? Where the last thing I'll leave with you, I don't know who's exactly on here or about your business that much, but on average right now across America, to generate a seller lead is anywhere from $80 to $125 per lead.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Cause I spent probably like $200-300 sending out mass text to an old list, and I've gotten one phone call with a guy who had like 7 properties. I'm going on a listing appointment tonight with my client, and then I've got 2 other homeowners that I have phone calls with. I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's
Those are still ups.
that is right along with the stats that you have there, because
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep. So think about that for your business and ultimately how you can reignite that database. And, again, by taking these actions, how many more transactions can you land over the next 6 months or a year?
Yeah, thank you so much, Elliot. And I don't think anybody else has any questions.
I didn't
I'll
see any
say
others.
look for an email for your invite, to become a partner with Zudilio. I'm so excited for everyone because I know the possibilities. They've been knocking on my door lately. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time. And Jessica, we will appreciate it being here and having me on. You guys take care.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.